Next week on Days of Our Lives.
Order!
Welcome back to Days. Today we will learn about the issues surrounding Marlena Evans and the complex web of psychological manipulation that threatens to unravel Salem's most beloved psychiatrist. The intricate storyline unfolding in Salem centers on Dr. Kayla Johnson's growing suspicions about Marlena Evans' deteriorating mental state. After Marlena courageously confided in her closest friend about the disturbing visions linked to an Arabian Nights book, Kayla's medical instincts began to trigger alarm bells. The seasoned physician recognizes all too well the sinister patterns of mind control that have plagued their community for decades. The haunting echoes of Stefano's legacy. Kayla's intimate knowledge of Stefano Di Mera's brainwashing technique stems from her own traumatic experiences watching loved ones fall victim to his psychological warfare. She witnessed firsthand how Steve Johnson was transformed into a puppet when Stefano's essence was implanted into his consciousness, turning her beloved husband into the very monster who had tormented their family for years. These harrowing memories now flood back as she observes Marlena's increasingly erratic behavior patterns. The connection between Marlena's current struggles and her notorious past as Stefano's Queen of the Night becomes increasingly undeniable. Decades ago, Stefano's relentless hypnotic sessions in her apartment systematically broke down Marlena's psychological defenses, making her soul vulnerable to supernatural possession. The parallels between then and now are striking. The same methodical erosion of mental barriers, the same disorienting episodes, and the same feeling of losing control over her own thoughts and actions. A dangerous game of medical ethics. While Kayla possesses no formal psychiatric training, her extensive exposure to Stefano's methodologies has given her unique insights into the Di Mera family's psychological manipulation tactics. She understands that traditional psychiatric approaches may prove inadequate against the sophisticated programming techniques employed by Salem's most notorious criminal mastermind. The challenge lies in identifying the specific trigger words and embedded commands that could instantly transport Marlena back to her darkest chapter as an unwilling accomplice. Marlena's stubborn refusal to return to the hospital physician who initially examined her creates an additional layer of complexity. Her growing paranoia and selective trust indicate that the psychological conditioning may be more advanced than initially suspected. Kayla finds herself in the precarious position of being potentially the only person Marlena still considers completely trustworthy, making her both the key to salvation and the primary target if something goes terribly wrong. The Rachel Black connection. The timing of Marlena's psychological deterioration coincides disturbingly with young Rachel Black's involvement in the E.J. Di Mera shooting incident. Marlena's fierce protectiveness toward her granddaughter has intensified dramatically, with mounting evidence suggesting that the innocent child may have accidentally discharged the weapon that nearly killed E.J. The psychological pressure of potentially covering up Rachel's involvement while maintaining her professional objectivity during Johnny Di Mera's trial creates an unprecedented ethical dilemma. Recent developments reveal that Marlena has been conducting hypnotherapy sessions with Rachel to recover suppressed memories about the shooting. The dangerous irony is palpable. As Marlena attempts to unlock Rachel's traumatic memories, her own psychological stability continues to crumble under the weight of Stefano's lingering influence. The possibility that Rachel witnessed something even more disturbing than previously imagined adds another layer of complexity to an already volatile situation. E.J. Di Mera's hospital machinations. Meanwhile, E.J. Di Mera's aggressive pursuit of university hospital ownership raises additional red flags for both Kayla and Marlena. His calculated moves to acquire the financially struggling medical facility seem to serve a dual purpose, gaining control over Salem's primary healthcare infrastructure while potentially positioning himself to monitor and manipulate ongoing medical treatments. Kayla's initial rejection of EJ's acquisition bid reflects her deep-seated distrust of Di Mera family intentions. The hospital battle between EJ and Xander Kyriakis represents more than a simple business transaction. It symbolizes the ongoing struggle between Salem's criminal underworld and those fighting to protect the community's welfare. Kayla's support for Xander's competing bid demonstrates her determination to prevent Di Mera influence from infiltrating the medical establishment where so many vulnerable patients seek healing and safety. Collaborative investigation and rising stakes. As the psychological mystery deepens, Marlena and Kayla find themselves drawn into a collaborative investigation of EJ's true motivations. Their combined expertise, Marlena's psychiatric knowledge and Kayla's administrative oversight of hospital operations, creates a formidable partnership against potential DiMera schemes. However, Marlena's compromised mental state raises serious questions about her ability to maintain professional objectivity and make sound judgments. The potential involvement of Sammy Brady in uncovering EJ's hidden agenda adds another dynamic element to the unfolding drama. Her intimate knowledge of EJ's personality and past behavior patterns could prove crucial in anticipating his next moves. However, her complex romantic history with EJ creates potential conflicts of interest that could compromise any investigation efforts. The search for a new Stefano. Perhaps most ominously, both women suspect that someone in Salem may be preparing to assume Stefano's mantle as the new puppet master. The psychological conditioning affecting Marlena suggests that the DiMera legacy of mind control and manipulation continues to evolve, potentially with new practitioners employing updated techniques. The question of who might be orchestrating these psychological attacks against one of Salem's most respected citizens becomes increasingly urgent as Marlena's condition deteriorates. The possibility that Tony DiMera harbors his own secrets while publicly supporting Gabi's return as DiMera CEO adds another layer of intrigue. His actions may be part of a larger strategy to consolidate power within the family structure while maintaining plausible deniability about ongoing psychological warfare operations. As Kayla races against time to help her dear friend break free from decades-old programming, the stakes continue to escalate for everyone involved. The battle for Marlena's mind represents not just a personal crisis, but a fundamental threat to Salem's stability and the safety of its most vulnerable residents. With Rachel's future hanging in the balance and EJ's ambitious schemes gaining momentum, Kayla must navigate treacherous psychological terrain while fighting to save both her friend's sanity and potentially the entire community from another DiMera reign of terror. The unfolding crisis tests the limits of friendship, professional ethics, and the power of human resilience against systematic psychological manipulation. As Salem braces for the potential return of its darkest chapter, only time will tell whether love and determination can triumph over the Phoenix's eternal quest for power and control. Next, we dive into an emotionally charged episode that tugs at the heartstrings, as Sammy Brady returns to Salem for a poignant reunion with her mother, Marlena Evans. This episode is a tapestry of love, regret, and familial bonds, woven with raw emotion and tender moments that remind us why this show continues to captivate audiences. Let's explore the intricate layers of this moving narrative, filled with new details and deeper reflections on the characters' journeys. A tearful embrace in the heart of Salem. The episode opens in the cozy, familiar living room of Marlena's home, where sunlight filters through lace curtains, casting a warm glow on the scene. Marlena, ever the dedicated psychiatrist, is absorbed in a stack of patient files, her brow furrowed in concentration. Unbeknownst to her, Sammy, her daughter, has quietly slipped into the room, her footsteps soft but her presence electric. The moment their eyes meet, time seems to pause. Sammy's face crumples, and Marlena drops her files, rushing to envelop her daughter in a hug that feels like a lifeline. Tears cascade down their cheeks as they cling to each other, the weight of years apart dissolving in this singular, cathartic embrace. Sammy's voice trembles as she whispers, "I should have come sooner, Mom. I should have said so much more." Marlena, her own eyes glistening, brushes a strand of hair from Sammy's face and murmurs, "You're here now, sweetheart. That's what matters." This reunion is more than a fleeting moment, it's a testament to the enduring bond between mother and daughter. The living room, adorned with family photos and mementos, serves as a silent witness to their shared history. A framed picture of a younger Sammy and Marlena at a long-ago picnic catches the light, reminding viewers of simpler times. The scene is rich with sensory details, the faint scent of Marlena's lavender perfume, the creak of the old wooden floorboards, and the distant hum of Salem's morning traffic filtering through an open window. These elements ground the emotional intensity, making the reunion feel both universal and deeply personal. Sammy's heart heavy with regret as they settle onto the plush couch, Sammy's emotions spill over like an overflowing river. Her regrets are a litany of missed opportunities, the phone calls she never made, the visits she postponed, and the moments she failed to cherish with her stepfather, John Black. "I was so caught up in my own world," she confesses, her voice breaking. "John was always there, treating me like his own daughter, and I took it for granted." Marlena, ever the pillar of strength, listens with a gentle nod, her eyes reflecting both sorrow and understanding. She reaches for Sammy's hand, squeezing it gently, and says, "John saw the best in you, Sammy. He always did. His love for you was unconditional." This exchange delves into Sammy's complex relationship with John, who stepped into her life as a father figure when she needed one most. The episode flashes back to a memory of John teaching a teenage Sammy to ride a bike, his patient encouragement contrasting with her stubborn determination. This new detail adds depth to their bond, showing John's quiet strength as a guiding force. Sammy's tears are not just for her own regrets but for the realization that John's absence leaves a void that words cannot fill. The scene is a masterclass in emotional storytelling, with the camera lingering on Sammy's trembling hands clutching a tissue, a subtle reminder of her vulnerability. A mother's comfort and a promise kept. Marlena, with her characteristic warmth, shifts closer to Sammy on the couch, her smile a beacon of reassurance. "John knew how much you loved him," she says softly, her voice steady despite the tears in her eyes. "He was so proud of the woman you've become." Their conversation turns to shared memories of John, his infectious laugh, his unwavering loyalty, and his knack for diffusing tension with a well-timed joke. Marlena recounts a previously untold story of John surprising Sammy with a birthday cake during a particularly tough year, a gesture that had brought her to tears even then. This new anecdote enriches the narrative, painting John as a man whose love was expressed through actions as much as words. Just as the moment threatens to overwhelm them, a knock at the door interrupts their reverie. Johnny, Sammy's son, bursts in, his face a mixture of relief and urgency. He throws himself into his mother's arms, and the three generations share a moment of unspoken unity. Marlena, sensing the need for mother and son to reconnect, excuses herself to prepare for a day at the hospital. As she gathers her coat, she pauses to touch Sammy's shoulder, a silent promise of continued support. The scene is a delicate balance of grief and hope, with the family's love serving as an anchor amidst their shared loss. Johnny and Sammy honor John's legacy. With Marlena gone, Johnny and Sammy settle into a quieter rhythm, their conversation inevitably turning to John. Johnny, named after his grandfather, shares a memory of fishing trips with John by the Salem River, where the older man imparted life lessons disguised as casual chats. "He always said I carried his name with pride," Johnny says, his voice thick with emotion. Sammy nods, her eyes distant as she recalls John's unwavering support during her tumultuous marriage to Lucas. "He was my rock," she says, her words punctuated by a fresh wave of tears. The two embrace, their shared grief a bridge that strengthens their bond. This moment is enriched by new details, such as Johnny's recollection of John teaching him to tie a fisherman's knot, a skill he still uses. The episode subtly weaves in the idea that John's influence lingers in the small, everyday moments that define his family's lives. The camera pans to a shelf where a small, carved wooden boat, a gift from John to Johnny, sits proudly, a tangible reminder of their connection. As Johnny prepares to leave for court, where he faces a trial with EJ as his defender, he and Sammy share a final, tearful hug. The brevity of their visit underscores the urgency of their lives, yet the depth of their connection shines through. A soliloquy to a beloved father alone in the quiet house, Sammy picks up a framed photo of John, his warm smile captured in a moment of joy. She traces the edges of the frame, her voice barely above a whisper as she speaks to him. "You loved us so fiercely," she says, her words a blend of gratitude and sorrow. "The Bradys, this family, you made us whole." She recounts a new memory, John's quiet presence at her high school graduation, where he stood in the back, clapping louder than anyone when her name was called. This detail adds a layer of intimacy to their relationship, showing John's pride in Sammy's milestones. Sammy's monologue is a poignant blend of apology and appreciation. She thanks John for standing by her during her marriage to Lucas, a period marked by chaos and growth. Clutching the photo to her chest, she lets her tears fall freely, each one a testament to the man who shaped her into the woman she is today. The scene closes with a soft fade to black, leaving viewers with a sense of closure tempered by the ache of loss. The episode, rich with new details and emotional depth, reaffirms the enduring power of family in Days of Our Lives. Final thoughts: this episode is a masterwork of emotional storytelling, blending raw grief with the warmth of familial love. Sammy and Marlena's reunion, Johnny's heartfelt reflections, and Sammy's solitary tribute to John create a narrative that resonates long after the credits roll. Stay tuned for more from Salem, where every episode brings new layers to the lives we've come to cherish.